is, but they do have the lifesteal for Oracle, which is quite nice. And by the way, John, I was going to comment as well on this Faceless Void hero. In terms of balance, I understand the bash procking, and then I understand the bash procking on the bash. But when you go for a deny, you can proc the bash and still proc the bash on the bash, denying creeps. Now that, to me, just takes it too far. I was having a game today, and I was up
Mhm.
against the Void, and he
Oh yeah.
kept procking bash when he was going for a deny. So
Mhm.
no matter how much I tried to outplay the guy in killing these creeps before he could deny them, he just kept bashing the deny creeps.
You know, Mike,
Why?
what it sounds like to me, Mike, is you're just not good enough. You've got to predict that stuff. You have to be able to know, all right, he's hit like 5 times. Procedural RNG is gonna tell me that this one's gonna bash. I need to contest this last hit. You gotta be on point, man. That's what's going on here when you play that game. You know, that's why Dota is so stressful. You're running the numbers.
All
You
right.
know, you gotta channel that inner Rain Man of yours. Get the numbers going, Mike. You can't just go in there and think I'm gonna last hit because I've got Quelling Blade. It's not that easy, dude.
I,
Still,
lo- I lost that game, by the way, John.
I saw it. I saw it. I think it's best that, for your sake, that we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
For all of our sakes.
I was playing Spectre though, John. I thought it was an unlosable game with
Wow,
Spectre.
Spectre. Whoa. That's such a good hero. The stats show it, Mike. Really good pick there. Into the Void. Love it, Mike.
496 Gaming, their fourth pickup. 20 seconds left of reserve time for that. Of course, we saw the Enchantress come out for Cignal Ultra. Just a very lane dominant support. And the Viper.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
in the way of break, John, I mean, I guess you are breaking the Enchantress and you can break the Mars. Seems like 496 just want a very lane dominant kind of mid. If it is going to be mid, I suppose there is still a chance of a support Viper, which would disgust me, but there is a chance.
there is. 496 has been kind of going left field with her draft sometimes. I forgot to mention this, but when you pick Void into Oracle, of course, there's always the pressure that you have to catch the Oracle. False Promise to keep the target in Chrono alive. You've got the Disarm as well before the BKB or the Manta is up. And we always say that picking Void into Oracle complicates matters for your Void. You do have to reach in. A bot's going to have to put in a lot of work, get the right target priority out to get the good chronos going. So I think in this case, if you just kill off the Oracle, you might already be happy. You already have that inbuilt bash, as you mentioned, very high high skill ceiling spell to use against the life stealer. Always good to bash through that spell immunity. We'll see what 496 opt for. Their draft is looking really interesting. It could be a pause for Magnus with an Oracle 5, and they're gonna choose the Dat BB hero last or the Hung hero last. I'm not exactly sure what 496 will want to go for. That's an option. But the Magnus support has been very middling as well. So they've got to watch themselves there. And Cignal Ultra do look like they want to play fast. Enchantress in lane is just really annoying to deal with. You can rotate really well with a Mirana. Once you have a good creep on the Enchantress, going down mid with a Mirana on the other end does make it very easy to secure those runes as well.
Absolutely. 496. Final pickup now. This will reveal what's going on with these heroes they have picked up. Had chicken nuggets for Merienda, by the way, John. Thank you for asking. Yeah,
Lovely.
very nice.
Those are lovely. Yeah. Did you have them? Were they flavored? You know, with a little powder, like
Yeah, a
cheese
bit of
or
chicken
whatever?
salt. Bit of chicken salt.
Chicken salt.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Pretty refreshing. I couldn't have that, Mike. It's too bloody hot here. I swear, it's like 36 degrees or something. It's not pleasant.
No. Earthshaker is the pickup, and now I'm very confused as to what 496 is up to, John. They've got a very interesting draft. I guess it could be Core Mag, Core Viper, Core Lifestealer, Pos 4 Earthshaker, Pos 5 Oracle. Seems the way to play it. It's just going to be a matter of what goes in the offlane. Is it an offlane Viper or an offlane Mag?
It's open enough. You know what would be more, well, not smart, but I'd say much more meaningful. And yeah, now it should be the Viper mid to try to dominate the Invoker. Gonna be interesting to see Jamesy pull that off. Of course, you've got this beautiful Invoker Void combo slides through. Cataclysm can fly out. Tornado EMP is going to be easy to land. Sunstrike in the early Chronos are going to be really strong. 496 though, looks like it is going to be our Magnus mid fight hung, unless again they've been swapping roles around here. 496. Let's see what they can pull out. They've got the Bombi Special Oracle in here, but Cignal Ultra do have this dangerous combination. They've got these really active supports. Eris and Marana, along with the Enchantress here, can start to control those runes at the 4-minute mark. So there's going to be a lot of fighting over that. I think 496 with their supports might not be able to contest so well unless Bombi and Jokam get some good levels up. But it's going to be a really good back and forth. I think you've got a lot of potential for both sides. Again, 496 needs to start finding wins, Mike. They've only got this and another series left. And if they want to climb up, they need to find those wins.
That they do. Cignal Ultra in return has what, 5 series? No, 6. They have 6 more series. Well, 5 more series after this one, but in total 6 series if you include this one. So yeah, they definitely need to get some wins here. 496. See if they can get it done. Game number 1.
Yeah,
they are running the mid Magnus, by the way, John.
Yeah, it's Magnus versus Invoker. We have seen Invoker struggle. Magnus against Invoker as well as kind of, it sounds very passive. I mean, you can probably do something about this if you're Jamesy, especially if you get those active supports in. Hung's gonna have to watch, but Hung can also just farm really well, Shockwave and Empower, dip into his jungle, kind of build up that way. What I was kind of sort of hoping for at the back of my head was, say, a core shaker here, just because Empower plus Enchant sounds really hilarious. It's hilarious. It's not smart, but it's fun.
Look at this, John. Look at this.
Ugh, it's a kid.
Yeah, disgusting. And what is with you and all these wacky builds? You can't accept anything normal?
No. I want to see something spicy. It's not going to happen, of course. Jokam's all business. No, I apologize to him for sort of mixing up the poster a bit. I finished pretty late. I started early, finished late in that one. I didn't realize I flipped his name with FBZ. Jokam doesn't even care. It's like, doesn't matter. I'm focused on the game. Shh, don't bother me in lobby. I'm focused on the game. You know, he's all business, Jokam. Just wants those wins, Mike.
Yeah, either that, John, or they just don't like you. Which, either way.
Considering how March reacts to me, yeah.
Yeah, just gives you the...
He gave me the smiley.
Did you see he tweeted at you, John, with the smiley face?
Yep.
The perfect response.
We all know. Wait, why is Jamesy's not a kid?
Oh, good. That's good.
What happened? Yeah, it's great, but did it break?
Look,
beta game?
No, it says he's wearing the set right now.
Yeah, exactly. But what happened?
But that's not a kid. That's a grown-ass man.
All right.
You're meant to look like this, but you look like this.
Yeah. It's an interesting choice. Beta game.
Beta game, right? No bitching. It's a free game. Everyone calm down. We know you paid for the cosmetics, but it doesn't matter. It's a free game. Everyone needs to just calm down and let us get out of beta first before everything works properly. I am very happy to see that the persona is not here, though, John.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if Jamesy is going to be affected by the persona not being on.
Yeah, he might be. Maybe. Might be. You know, you want, maybe you're used to that hitbox, walking animation, small things like that can maybe throw you off a bit. Have to say though, this warding spot is pretty darn good. We've seen this kind of warding spot down mid before. You know, breaking up those rotations, making it harder for 496 to maybe find the angles. Now, they don't really... I guess Jokam could be threatening with a shaker. So this is just going to protect Jamesy a bit more. Make it difficult, and it's not spotted out because this other ward came out slightly later. Yeah. So you should be okay here to get this lasting true until they figure out the rotations are broken up.
Very interesting itemization, by the way, John, from our Earthshaker. Jokam boots, 2 clarities, and a ward. Has no regen queued up either. I realize the Earthshaker doesn't really trade harass much these days, but generally speaking, you probably want a set of tangos to get some pulls off. I'm sure he'll buy some straight after the bounty runes are taken, but very unique from JoeCam. Just
I
no
like
regen
it.
at all.
We see this from a couple of pause fours every now and again, right? Like they just rush the boots and then get a couple of clarities, just trying to get early harassment out. I think that can pay off. It will just enable Jokam to at least block his wave. So it's going to be kind of shoved in for them. Better control there on the off lane. A Signal Ultra on their end, and they should be able to handle it just fine, though. They have just sort of left a bot alone for now. They're clumping 3 heroes top. They might be able to make a move on the Lifestealer. I mean, Drew most definitely doesn't want to opt for level 1 Rage, of course. So if they catch him off guard, that could be a nice first blood to pick up.
I don't disagree. Shout out to the guy, Cuttree, I believe it is. He apparently made a Twitter account just so he could tweet at me and make a modem recommendation. Thank you for that, sir. That's so nice. See how nice people are to me, John. People love me. I know they feel a bit different about you, but they're so nice to me.
Oh, March gives me the smiley, Mike. That's all I need. That's all the attention I need. I just want to say hi to March. Have him send a smiley, and we know. Still got to go to the Okada, Mike. You want to tag along with Cuckoo? Just you, me, and Cuckoo. Maybe the boys, whoever the boys are.
The Okada.
Yeah, Okada. The hotel here, the place here. Remember, Cuckoo was like saying,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah, I
let's go.
remember, John. I was more kind of trying to remember what the word was, but yeah, we can go to the Okada. I mean,
Food's good.
So I guess I got to come to you guys. You're not going to pick me up from Australia.
God no. After seeing your modem, what else is waiting for us there? I don't want no. Terrifying.
I guess I mean, we don't really have any planes working at the moment, John. There's a pandemic.
Swim.
I could.
Swim.
I must admit, John, I'm a fairly good swimmer. It's been a few years, and I usually can do about 50 meters before I start drowning. So I think I've got a pretty good shot.
Yeah, just need to do 50 meters like about 1,000 times, I think. You're fine.
Yep. Van, go when ready. 4v5, screw it, just go.
That BB's like...
Gotta say, by the way, John, even the oceans here are pretty dangerous in Australia.
They are.
Pretty hard to actually start swimming through the ocean here.
You know why, Mike?
A lot of sharks.
It's what I expect now is Australia is just a giant trap to keep Australians in Australia.
It is.
That's the only logical thing, because you guys are the most dangerous. So, thank you for keeping us safe, Mike. Thank you.
I mean, we were literally brought here as prisoners to begin with. I guess the British had the right idea. There you have it. That BB, he'll take the bounty at the pot, and he'll take the other one. So we're 2 for 2. JoeCam, are you going to buy some regen? He's blocking the creep wave at the moment. And I guess this is why, like, JoeCam's not going to really spend any time in the lane. Might go for a quick large camp pull, but overall he's just going to block the creep wave, trying to set up a nice equilibrium here for that BB. Should be a second block coming up. Let's get it very nicely, and yeah, he'll pop the clarity and just go for a run.
Well, then you're pretty much set here. That BB, of course, on the Viper up against Abat's Faceless Void and Grimm's on the Enchantress. Now, this is not a fun time for a Faceless Void. We talk about this with Time Walk, but when you've got something like a DOT, you can't really just stand there and farm. And of course, with Nether Toxin level 1, you can't really stand there with a break. So, pretty good, although they are getting damage on that BB.
They are. That BB is gonna die. Abat does get the kill, and man, that's a rough opening here for 496. Cignal Ultra will just get themselves out of there, and no, that's tough.
It is not the start you'd want, but Abat's definitely dancing around. Graham's gonna be very happy as well. Have to watch it. Viper level 1 is kind of meh. Level 2 is not that much better. Level 3 can be nice. So we'll see what that BB opts for now. Abat already off to a running start. You can take a look mid. Our Jamesy lane with Hung Hung on his Magnus Invoker. So far, going rather even, as we expected, right? Might end up just being a farming lane. Jamesy can maybe throw a couple of spells out, but it's not like you can completely harass the Magnus. And if ever Hung does fall behind, he's going to have his jungle stacks to build up and kind of
Grims.
play with as well.
Bot lane looks like he is probably going to die here. That BB does get a bit of revenge onto Grims for all those impetus shots he did have to take. Meanwhile, top lane, John, Drew is also getting chased down on the Lifestealer. Arrow does connect nicely from Eris, but it's not going to be enough. Back Bombi does come in, does get his own clarity, I believe it was cancelled, or salve. There is no regen left for either of these two. Courier does come in though from Bombi with a salve. Looks like he is going to be able to just salve Drew up. But so far in the side lanes, it is looking pretty rough for the side of 496.
They're really making it work here, Cignal. Just applying that pressure you'd want to see, and this kind of start is going to set themselves up well. Van is at 14 last hits. He's up there in the top tree. Drew has been struggling. I mean, both of our pause ones have been struggling, but you don't necessarily want this in your life stealer. Just running out of regen means Bombi's going to be in a very awkward spot in keeping Drew alive. And you saw that little bit of an awkward moment where Drew just kept walking up to Bombi expecting to heal, and oh, a spear.
It's going to come out. Bombi, very low, will go down to Van, but Drew is going to try and get some harass out. Problem is the Bulwark is already there on Van, so he's not really going to take much damage. And he will go ahead and pull the creep wave away. And really, the only thing that is going positively for 496 is that mid lane, but I'd say even that's not really a clear win. Like, Hung's in front by CS, but the fact that he's not completely dominating Jamesy is a little bit concerning for me, John. Considering Jamesy is going Quas Wex. But never mind that for a second. Grim's bot lane. It's going to be alright for now. Joe Cam going to have a search through the tree line. Is not going to find him. But as I was saying about the mid lane, Hung hasn't really seemingly focused on denies very much. So he's only 3 last hits ahead of Jamesy. So I'd say this is kind of a loss for 496 even in the mid lane. In fact, James is going for a kill attempt. Does eventually get the cold snap, but the skill was already there. But he's got the lane to himself now.
That's a fantastic start for Jamesy. Like, this is exactly what you'd want in the Invoker. No contestation. We haven't seen the supports come down, and that's just costing them. And now, you know, you kind of miss a window here. Jokam is working his way through, though, around these runes.
Fisher could come out soon. He's being quite patient, but you probably wouldn't have the damage. Hung, he's got level 3 in power, but that's really all he's got. Jamesy has the Tornado Cold Snap. Be a bit of a risk to try and go for him, but maybe now that he has overstepped, but Joe Cam doesn't really block him out with the Fisher. A bat will remind them of the mistake they did just make, and in fact, that BB is also going to die down at the bot lane. A bat, the one to pick up the kill.
It's not what you want when you run the offlane Viper. You want it to dominate the lanes.
What?
And it's just not happening. Jokam walks away, can't find anything. Now he's trying to trade hits with Grims, and he finds one bounty, but
Grims is going to die. John, I did say what because Van threw a spear onto Drew, which went through the Roshan pit, rather than latching onto the backside of that Roshan pit. Mars spear is so broken. I don't get this skill. It just half of the time it works and half the time it doesn't.
I think it's almost the same issue you get with Arrow, right? So if there's an elevation change, it looks really jank. And I think it's just that with these projectile-based skill shots. There is some jankiness in the elevation change. It feels like Source doesn't track it well, although, you know, it can cost them. We are still seeing Cignal pull ahead, though, despite these setbacks. And, you know, even down mid, I'm just looking James. He's just not being zoned out. The rotation's not working out, and Punk's just going to be glad to have a regen.
That BB is going to be in trouble again. Just copying so much harassment out. This is partially why we don't see the Earthshaker anymore in the current meta, is because it doesn't really do anything, and apart from die. Grims does get the kill, and now he just dives that BB underneath the tier 1 tower with this neutral creep he has. He's waiting for the impetus, he'll throw it out, he'll get the double kill, and he will die in the end to the poison damage, but who cares about that? You just got a double as a +5 Enchantress. and Cignal are well and truly ahead of this game.
Yeah, they're going for more up top as well.
Bombi going to be in a spot of danger on the Oracle, but Raindrops will save the day for him. We'll turn back around now to try and help Drew out with the Fortune's End to hold down Van. Van gets a nice spear off, but he actually tries for the salve. Bombi will take the kill on the Oracle. To Eris, who is going to spot out Hung here on the mag. RP straight off the bat. Eris not going to die yet, but doesn't have any leap charges. Alright.
It's an okay RP. I mean, you find a kill, you're fine. You're just focusing on farming anyway if you're Hung.
Bot lane.
So, you'll take it.
Chrono is going to be out on that BB. I got to say, there really wasn't many bashes through that Chrono. In fact, a bat might die if Bombi could get another Purifying Flames. He has a Mango, but he didn't have Vision. And now he's going to die for his trouble. Oh, that's a real shame. That should have been a dead Void.
It's not quite lining up now for 496. Draft falling a bit flat. You still need to get some space out for the mag. Not only that, but you know, you might be seeing Drew farm okay in Lifestealer. He's kind of lagging behind, but not too badly, although.
Yeah, Hung, he's out of mana. Can't skewer away, but they won't have the damage output to kill him off. I mean, as time goes on, like, up against a Faceless Void, it's going to be pretty rough if a bat could just continue free farming like this. He's top of the net worth board. That is up against the Magnus, which has the inbuilt Empower. So things are looking very, very bad right now for 496.
They need a lot more space, and this is something that their draft might be a bit too greedy to really get done. You're waiting for Drew to finish his armlet. You're waiting for this blink, the blink and Echo Saber on Hung. Not only that, but then you're also waiting for your Shaker blink for a Jokam. All of that now is going to be delayed with this kind of start. And once you start losing powers, it becomes hard to find that farm.
Well, they got onto the Lifestealer. Arrow is going to be perfectly timed from Eris. The domination continues here from Cignal Ultra, just holding nothing back in this game, number one.
Catch us if you can.
The Lifestealer, Drew, he already was having some troubles farming up against that Mars. Just around the halfway point on the net worth graph. It's just not going to get any better as time goes on, but now that BB is going to TP in, but Van just commits the arena and the spear. Bombi is going to drop the Fate's Edict to protect, but that BB, he's just not tanky enough. He is just nowhere near tanky enough, and now Bombi's going to be chased down by Van, who barely has any HP. Hung's going to come in, gets the kill, but now Crim's going to go after the Magnus. He won't have the damage, but here comes Jamesy with the Tornado EMP onto Bombi. Fate's Edict will protect from the damage, but James still has the auto attacks. Hung now commits an RP, but where's your damage output? It's just not there. Jokam really wishing he was level 6 right now, but he is not. And Grims will just torture him with these spears.
Ooh.
Almost kills him off. Arrow. Ooh. Jokam. Didn't know which way to go.
Oh, Jamesy. No. No way.
Wait, what?
Oh, he came back for that with a tornado. He sacrifices his life, but he got the kill. I guess Jamesy's happy enough, and you know, Cignal Ultra, we're at the 10.5 minute mark, Mike, 12-7, but a 4K lead. You mentioned it, but this is a Magnus draft that just can't outfarm just yet.
That's rough. I mean, Drew can now rotate into the jungle and just catch up with that Empower, but he's actually going to go down towards the bot lane and try to clear out that creep wave. Now, Bat has Chrono, so if he wants to have a crack at this, he could. He'd need a bit of damage to start things off, and Drew looks like he won't get bashed whatsoever, so the Bat will give up on that, and he'll go back to farming his own jungle. Plus, we are at the point as well where Jamesy has a Midas up, goes for the Chrono as well, onto Drew, hoping for some bashes, but there really isn't too many. Now that BB gonna come in with the Viper Strike. Jokam does not have Fisher. You've got the infested creep chasing down a Bat and keeping up vision, but it's not really going to do too much. The Viper really not dishing out as much damage as you'd hope to see.
No, definitely not. And a bit of a whiffed chrono, but you're still happy overall forcing the response out. I think I like seeing this from a bot. He's not holding out. He is trying to play aggressive. It's sometimes works out, sometimes doesn't, but he is taking those chances, and that's what you love to see from these Faceless Voids. They will try to trade tier 1 bot, but it's a slower process here. The top's already gone, and they're already invading that jungle here on the side of Cignal. They can easily swing around to mid and look for another objective.
They can. $4K net worth lead for Cignal Ultra. They are slowly starting to set up for that mid-tier 1. There is a wraparound coming in from 496. How do you initiate? Like, you haven't got the Earthshaker Blink yet. They'll get Grims, so it's a decent enough start. He was on a dominating spree, so a bit of gold there for that BB. Pretty sure they would have wanted a bigger target though, considering there's 5 heroes in that mid lane. They aren't really going to get what they wanted though, and that'll pretty much be it. Everyone will just dissipate.
And this is just allowing this Midas build-up before Invoker to really kick off. Jamesy opting to play greedy, still isn't punished. That early ward just protected him so long. Like, the rotation from JoeCam around that 4-minute mark was unsuccessful. Now it's too late to get any successful rotations out. They just need to tighten up this farming pattern. They have some good wards here, 496, to defend their jungle. They need to maximize the protection they've afforded themselves. Get the farm up with the Empower, get some stacks going, and just wait for these items to come out. Drew's getting started with the Armlet. It's going to be fairly short work, saving up for that Desolator, and once you have that, your Lifestealer should be in a very good spot.
Slowly but surely, Drew. He's getting there. Plus the MKB from a bat is going to be somewhat problematic here for 496 once it is up and is being worked towards. He may even go for a smoke soon, as the bat does have Chrono back up, or maybe they'll just bait with Jamesy. Back Arena is going to be there from Van, but it isn't an illusion. Chrono is going to be out. They have caught up the mag, but False Promise is going to be out for that BB, so Hung now going to commit the RP. They do all jump the void in a pad. Everything just went so wrong for Cignal Ultra. I mean, Arena on an illusion, Chrono on the mag without catching the Oracle. It couldn't have gone better for 496.
And we talked about that in draft. A bot has the pressure to catch that Oracle. They need to ensure they know where the Oracle is. It's such a straightforward combo. Bombi is always on point. And with that kind of whiff, 496 can look at the tier 1.
Arrow going to catch out Hung with the Chaos Meteor to fly in. It's not actually much damage thanks to that Fate's Edict out from Bombi, and they will kill off Eris. So they don't get that mid-tier 1 tower finished up, but they do get another kill. They force Cignal Ultra to respond to this push in the mid lane, and it looks like that is going to be enough. They do back off, and the net worth lead has lowered to 2K now, so pretty good news here for 496.
Definitely is. It's allowing JoeCam to save up for his blink up at a really good pace as well. So you're looking at a Magnus plus a Shaker blink at around the same time. That's going to be a massive power spike for 496. Cignal Ultra need to be a bit more cautious. They need to respect that Bombi is on one of his signature heroes, just preventing so much damage. The Fate's Edict blocking the magical burst, the disarm causing issues, the False Promise saving them at the last moment. They need to line up properly, prioritize finding the Oracle first, taking the bigger team fight afterwards. That's got to be the playbook here for Cignal Ultra.
Grims going to be able to get that deny off on that power rune. Hung will be able to pick it up. So they are going to take a bit of a farming break, and you can't really blame him. I mean, you already did point it out, but JoeCam is very close to that blink up. Kind of crazy to think Drew is caught up all the way to the top of the net worth board just in the last 5 minutes.
I mean, it's an Empower Lifestealer that they haven't stopped. Although,
Van He's going to catch out the Oracle, but the Fate's Edict was protecting from some magic damage. Still going to be a nice little pick up there from Van. But the rest of 496 don't seem to really be too worried. They push out the mid wave again. Cignal Ultra will come in and make sure the wave does get pushed back out. I don't know about this though, like, Drew is farming a bit too well considering the circumstances, I think.
Yeah, he's catching up well. Desolator is just, what, 500 gold off. There's that one blink on Hung, and that means Jokam's blink is also up. So 2 blinks up, 496. They don't mind at all. They can now take these fights. They've now got control. Cignal will have to declump and have to respect that power spike, as they're not quite there yet with their own item build-ups.
Arrow, not going to fall onto that BB. It's like Hung, that Invis rune, looking for a big blink RP if he could get one. No sentries in the mid lane to scout this Invis out. Invest on Jokam as well. They really want this fight. Hung just going to jump in after Grims with the skewer back. That'll be Grims. Slowly but surely going down to the poison damage of that BB. Bit of a jump there from Almirana. Eris gonna have to just try and run out of here. Open wounds is gonna be out, but he does leap away. Meanwhile, Arena out from Van with the Sunstrike straight onto Bombi, but Hung has jumped in a big RP, and there's Yakko out from Jokam. They just blow them up. Perfect execution there from 496. Now they are well and truly back into the game, and I believe they are going to try for a Roshan attempt.
That's going to be a really quick Rosh with that Desolator here, Mike, and the Empower. You're going to need to turn around Cignal. They do have the Chrono, but they're going to have to pop a buyback, and even then, it does look like it's too late. Maybe if they make a big Invoker play here?
Try. EMP Tornado is out, but Jamesy, he's been caught. Goes invis, but it won't matter. They had the sentry down. Back into that Roshan. I don't believe there is any stopping this for Cignal Ultra.
It's just all lining up. They even find a bounty rune from the shovel. So Hung gets a bottle refill, gets additional gold. Even their Viper, that PP is also bounced back well. Guardian Greaves already up at 19 minutes, considering that terrible laning start. They've got added durability and utility coming in here. Cignal, they need to finish this farm up. The MKB for a bot needs to be up, and the BKB as well. You can't afford one without the other, so a bot's still going to have to play this farming game. The Ags of Jamesy has to get done up as well. Like, he's about 500 gold. Once you've got that Cataclysm option, you could play with a Chronos. Just toss Chronos, pop Kata, try to find that instant burst. But you will have to target Bombi. That does not change. Bombi has to die first before you win any of these fights for Cignal. And Bombi's just on point. His position's just perfect.
Jokam going after Eris. Does have the Fisher. Eris has one more leap charge. Jokam is going to Fisher in time. Do they know where Eris is, though? It seems like they will find him in the end. And he does use that final leap charge with Jokam right back on top, giving the vision for that BB. Meanwhile, mid lane, however, Arena is going to be out. Catch. Oh, that Chrono. That wasn't in a bat. The false promise is going to come out. They control him up with the skewer back. They should have some more stuns. They do. There's the RP out with the Chaos Meteor to drop, but they already got the Void. They'll try to go back for the Magnus, and they do get hung. But here comes that BB with the Viper Strike. Grim's in trouble. Will go down, and so will Van. Oh, what a complete mess from Cignal Ultra.
Ooh, yeah, it's not lining up. They get a bit hasty in jumping in. They get punished. There's an Axe and Jamesy, but there's no combo anymore.
Nope. Drew says, hey, James, you want to fight? Jamesy says no. Into that mid lane. There's nothing to stop them from getting a free tier 2 tower.
I mean, they still have the Aegis. You can easily just take these fights, tier 2. I mean, Drew has to be careful with his toggling, but he's perfectly fine. They still have the Slam. JoeCam can still look for a play, and they might just go hunting now. You got to be careful where you show up here, Cignal. They are respawned back in, but there's still some tools here from 496. Yeah, that's a bit funny. You saw that, right? Like, Drew received his basher while he was infested.
Yeah.
How does that work? You're inside someone. How do you get your items out? That doesn't sound sanitary. Sounds like a health code violation, Mike.
I imagine it would be, John. It's Dota though. I think there's many health code violations in this game. Then they have eyes on this Mars. BB gonna make his way down, but can't really keep up. Then he'll just walk away as Drew will get a free tier 2 bottom tower. Into the mid lane they go. They have RP in 10, they have the Echo up, and they pretty much have every other ulti. Chrono gonna be up in 20 seconds, but 496, it seems like they're feeling pretty confident after those last few team fights. I imagine they want to try and start another.
Yeah. It's, into the tier 2, Van.
Nice little rage. Drew will just walk out. You can tell Drew's trying to bait them forward. But must be pretty obvious for Cignal that his team is right behind him. They do smoke up though, they want to go for something. They're just going to try and force it.
So, not quite the right direction. If they ran into a bot, that would have been a major win. They scout the wrong part, so not quite lined up, but
They're coming back.
they could make the move.
They've done a U-turn, John. Back the way of the Radiant Triangle.
Oh.
Van might be the unfortunate victim.
Oh.
No, the Echo was not on target. They did not catch a bat. The Fisher did, but there's your Arena. Drew trying to fight back.
Oh.
There's your RP, though. Catching 2 once again. Do they have the damage in time? They do. Abat and Van both going down. Grimm's trying to run. I don't think there's anywhere to go for him. Eris, he'll leap away, but Grimms will have to just trot his way over. It looks like they even
Jamesy?
found the Invoker. Jamesy gonna get caught out. 496 well and truly in control of this game. They might try high ground, and well, Hung's already started.
Yeah, and they're just so far ahead. There is a Chrono. There isn't the combination with a Cat at the very least still available, and with no creep wave, they're not going to be able to find anything. So a bit of a shame, but you're still really happy. 496 now with a 6k lead. They don't have their team fight spells. There is an opportunity for Cignal to come back in. A bot needs this BKB. He is just getting wrecked every single time he's up front. It's not going to stop the RP stun going through, though. But at the least, you're not going to have to worry about a lot of the other control, especially from the Shaker. So you still need this BKB up. A bot needs to get some space out, but the map is shrinking dangerously fast here.
That it is.
Ooh.
I hear a BKB. Where is it?
Yeah, it's Hung.
Oh,
Fresh 10-second charge. Had to run away from, I believe, Van. Van was threatening Grounder's Rune, so not the best first use, but considering the lead, I don't think it's too detrimental for 496. It's not a free pass,
Yeah,
because
he's
it's
just-
not ideal, but it's okay.
he's just testing it, John. Just making sure
Yeah.
it works.
You never know, right?
Just
Maybe
gotta-
your hotkeys busted, you gotta check.
Well, you don't want to go into a team fight and, you know, it doesn't turn on. Gotta make sure it works first. Here we go, JoeCam will get infested. TP, or rather Shadow Blade. Bot lane, Jamesy was showing. JoeCam, will he guess where he is? It looks like he probably
yes.
will. Right in there, James. Surprise, surprise. Drew will take him out. 9k net worth lead now for 496. And Cignal Ultra, they're still looking for an answer here. You still have the Void, you still have the Cataclysm, but you've got to land the combinations first. That has not been happening at all.
No, it really hasn't. Man. They're still waiting for this BKB and a bot before forcing out these fights, but 496, they just see a high ground, they go for it, and you will have to defend this one.
Drew will comp the arrow, protecting the siege creep. Gonna leave it at that though. They're not gonna stick around to protect the siege creep and go for the racks. Looks like they want to make a run to the Radiant Triangle and maybe just control that up. Continue to suffocate out the side of Cignal Ultra. What's Dota Plus saying, John? 83% at the moment. It actually was heavily the way of Cignal Ultra early on in the game, but a couple of bad team fights and suddenly we're here.
Yeah, and they need to turn it around. There's, again, very good high ground that can come out with a Faceless Void. They've got this Ags up that we really haven't seen utilized just yet coming out from JMC, but it does need to fly out. They've got Max Exhort up already. We can see the amazing Cataclysm bursts, but Abat, man, this is just one of the pitfalls of relying so much on a Faceless Void. There's so much pressure on Abat. If he doesn't deliver a big two-man chrono, which is a core plus Bombi, then you just don't win. And he needs to make that happen here.
That baby actually uses the pipe to protect the creep wave from the Starfall of Eris. The next level BM. I love to see it. And 496, they are remaining grouped up. They still have those big ultis available. Off we go, Jokam with the Infested Lifestealer again. Could look to get the easier kill on Grims, and it looks like that's exactly where he's going to go. In fact, no, he runs right past him. He wants a bigger target. But, yeah, that's the target they want. Echo being committed, and in we go. I love the fact that he ran through 3 heroes without getting detected by a sentry or something. There's just no sentries there. The top lane, they have got that BB in the arena with the Cataclysm and the Spear, and they do blow him up. Nice pick off there from Cignal Ultra, but now Grims wants to run away. Drew gonna chase him down. Moonlight Shadow gonna be there. They have a sentry placed right underneath the tier 1 tower. That'll be Eris going down, and Grims, he is not very safe right now. They'll dust him up, they'll Fortune's End him up, and Bombi will take the kill. That'll be a very quick tier 1 and probably a tier 2 tower. No real reason to back off here. And on top of that, John, they have a Roshan in 35 seconds.
Yeah, perfectly timed for 496. Really taking control of this game. They still hold on to the RP to force out further fights. And Cignal, again, they need to play with its Void Invoker combo. We have not seen Kata plus the Chronosphere at all. And Abat has not been able to use his Chrono. He just keeps dying beforehand. So maybe, again, hold out, get the BKB for Abat. Get some sentries down, because they keep dying. I say that, but there's like a million sentries here from 496 as well, just to enable that gameplay. So they need to kind of try to wrangle control back in their jungle, get some safe farm. And 496, no pressure. The Rosh is up. Bombi walk outside before it respawned, though, so
Unlucky.
not quite aware.
Well, Cignal Ultra will spot it out with an arrow.
The prize is mine.
Probably assuming it's going to be a longer respawn time for that Roshan now, 496. I think it really matters anyway, like, Drew's still just freely farming. It's like he has a heart up, I believe I saw, which is something a bit more unique. We usually see Satanics. Yeah, heart. Very unique.
How can you die now with 4k HP? It's going to be so hard to clean him up. The damage is great on...
Oh, hung! Perfect! Just time walk straight into the RP. You know, Van also being caught out here by Drew. In the background, we do have Grims going down as well. I think it might be about that time to call it. I mean, I know we haven't even gone high ground yet, but a 15k net worth lead. They haven't been able to take a team fight for I don't even know how long. Roshan's going to go the way of 496. I mean, this game is looking very over.
Yeah, it's a hard one to bounce back into. I mean, from Cignal's end and Cignal's perspective, all they need is a big chrono. It's just that they have no map control. I've been yapping about this for a while, but they need some wards, they need some sentries, they need some information, and they just can't find anything.
Blink straight in to the Mirana. Does get arrowed, but did at least get the Fortune's End off. Bombi, I'm not sure if he realizes he can't do this by himself, but he does false promise to survive through the Chaos Meteor. Now Jokam's coming in. Fisher is going to block the Marauder in onto Jamesy, who BKB's up. He does get the kill. And Chocam's going to go for a run now as... Or maybe not. He's going to turn back around. That was a 10-second BKB charge from the Invoker. And look at Chocam. Yep, there we are. I found the Marauder. Error's going to get the Yules off. Has one more leap charge. Goes for an arrow, but Chocam seems to know where he is. Gets another enchant totem. James is coming back in. Chocam is out of mana now. He has one more enchant and he can't get it off. Oh boy.
Oh boy, that's classic C. If I've ever seen it, you know, you're ahead, you're a support, you think you're rocking the world, and you just kind of don't. So good punishment out from Cignal. James, he's gonna be happy enough. Of course, the 10-second BKB, but you found 2 kills. I think that does kind of correct itself. They still are severely behind, but maybe now with 2 heroes down, Cignal, if they catch someone out, that could be the opportunity they're looking for.
Smoke up. Looking at Hung on that mag, but he's got a Silver Edge and he's just running away with that invis. But they are still going to invade the jungle. That BB wouldn't be too bad of a kill. They'll go for the arena with the Cataclysm to fly out, and they do get the Viper kill. Alright, things are starting to work out now. It's a bit of a weird, turn of events between these two teams, but the comeback is apparently coming from Cignal Ultra.
Yeah, it's They've got to be a bit careful here, 496, with throwing their bodies out like that. Now, they are still 12k ahead. They're not in a very perilous spot. They're still definitely in control here. They are just waiting for, say, the AC up on Hung. And the MKB on Drew. So once you've got that, you're pretty much set. Your Aegis is still good for about 3 minutes plus. You've got a lot of time to get that up and running. And they're just going to reset. I think after those deaths, they're going to be a bit more cautious, although Grims might fall. No, Drew walks the wrong way.
Yeah, nice little TP up. Yeah, 496, they may not realize how far ahead they are. So, like, I know we're 33 minutes in. It's not too late or anything, but you've definitely had a lot of time to go high ground. I feel like even if you could be worried about the Chrono and Cataclysm, but I don't know.
Yeah.
The way they've been playing, they've been executing very nicely. I really wouldn't be too concerned about that Chrono Cataclysm yet. As I say, that they are going high ground now.
Yeah, Drew's just going to rip and tear. They need to find the angle here.
He's got the Aegis anyway. It's going to be pretty tough to kill off Drew. But they're happy with the melee barracks. Drew, going to cop an Impetus Strike. Fair bit of damage up. He'll be fine. Does have a heart after all. Into the mid lane they go.
We'll have that MLS. If they want to jump in, they have retaken triangle high ground. So it's a pretty good spot to be in.
Chocam gonna spot out Van.
Oh no.
It's a nice Fisher off onto 2 heroes, and Drew will just go straight to work. Van pops the BKB, but it doesn't help you against the Lifestealer. That was a 10-second charge as well, by the way.
Yeah, they don't have sentry still. I mean, they did at the end, but it doesn't matter. And now you have a high ground defense as 4.
Alacrity Enchantress is pretty powerful.
Yeah, I suppose it is when you start tossing those impetus. So that's one way, but here's the smoke out from 496. They've got the MKB up.
Yeah, Hung's looking for a nice RP. He just probably wants Jamesy or the Void. Either one's pretty good target here for Hung. Back to Bad and Jamesy is standing right next to each other underneath those tier 4 towers, but they are going to go in, just go after Grims. There's your Chrono. It did not catch Jamesy. There is going to be a Cataclysm, but it means nothing. The false promise was there. Hung, RP, going to whiff as well. Bat does barely get away. Errors, Skewer, not going to be out either. They do connect the arrow onto the Lifestealer, but so many misspells. Looks like they're just going to go back to the tier 3 tower. Just ignore that all that happened. Arena is going to be out, man. BKB again, not going to help him up against that live stealer. Into a bat. He will time walk away from Drew, but Drew is just going to continue this chase. He does not get a lucky bash, however. But it seems though Drew just doesn't need to back off. I mean, with this heart, he just keeps resetting. He's always on full HP. And they just can't really kill him.
No, they can't. He's just ready to go. There's another Rax going to top now, and without Chrono, how do you really fight in? They need something big to happen, and it's just so difficult.
That'll be the Megas coming out now for 496. Wait, not even Megas. There's still a range Rax down at the bot lane. And they're going to go back for it. They're not going to... Yeah, they call the GG anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, it's been a bit of a mess this game for Cignal Ultra. Just not landing their abilities properly at all.
No.
I mean, if the only way you're going to kill off the lifestealer is via Chrono, and even then it looked like they probably weren't going to get the kill, this game looked over for about 10 minutes in my opinion. Maybe even 20.
Yeah. The biggest issue was, they willingly picked that Void into the Oracle. And it always you always had that issue where you have to have a bot catch a Bombi. And Bombi's positioning is just always so darn good. They were finding some early kills. They were playing really aggressive Cignal Ultra. 496's laning start was rough. They played super greedy with his Jokam Shaker, but they hold out long enough. They got the farm and Hong and Drew, and eventually even got that Blink and Jokam, and it just lined up. I think Cignal, when they run a draft like this, they have to hit their markers. They have to get those objectives and clean up the execution a bit.
With that, John, we are of course going to move on to game number 2 of this best of 2 between 496 and Cignal Ultra. Should be around 10 minutes before the next game starts. Yeah, we'll see you again very soon.